Elon Musk. Quien se mete conmigo, se seca. Quien se mete con Venezuela, se seca. Elon Musk. ¿Quieres pelea? Vamos a darle, Elon Musk. Estoy listo. Soy hijo de Bolívar y de Chávez. No te tengo miedo, Elon Musk. Vamos a darnos, pues. Donde quiera. Como decimos en Caracas, en los barrios.
Elon Musk once admitted that he has OCD. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. He says that he's obsessed with product. He can only see what's wrong. But lately, the Tesla CEO has a new obsession. It's Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela. Just look at his tweets. In the last 4 days, Musk has tweeted about him 50 times, 50 times. Imagine that. What explains this tweet frenzy? Are they new BFFs? Or is there something more to this? On Sunday, Venezuela announced the results of its presidential election. Of course, Maduro won. He's ruled the country for 11 years and he's been accused of rigging the election. So no one was surprised. The opposition cried foul and claimed victory. They alleged voter fraud, and fighting their cause was Elon Musk. On Sunday, he took to X and he wrote, "Shame on dictator Maduro." The next morning, he wrote that Maduro had committed election fraud. Now, for most people, 2 posts would be good enough. You've made your point and you move on. But Elon Musk is not most people. His ethos is overkill and his posts weren't all civil. Look at this one. Here's what it says. "I'm coming for you, Maduro. I will carry you to Gitmo on a donkey." Imagine saying that to a world leader. Maduro did not respond. But 48 posts later, he'd had enough. So the Venezuelan president challenged Elon Musk to a fight.
Te fuiste de boca, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, whoever messes with me dries up. Whoever messes with Venezuela dries up. Elon Musk, you want to fight? Let's have it. Elon Musk, I am ready. I am a son of Bolivar and Chavez. I am not afraid of you. Elon Musk, let's go at it wherever you want.
So the ball is now in Elon Musk's court, and soon the suspense ended. Musk tweeted he accepts the challenge, and he also raised the stakes. Elon Musk said if he wins, Maduro must resign. If he loses, he will give the Venezuelan president a free trip to Mars. But this isn't Musk's first rodeo. In 2022, he challenged the Russian president to a duel. Of course, Putin ignored him. Then in 2023, Musk chose a more suitable opponent, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. He challenged Zuckerberg to a cage match. Zuckerberg agreed. But unfortunately for the world, the two never made it to a ring. So you can understand Elon Musk's modus operandi. He ridicules you, he challenges you, he makes a fuss about it. But when it comes down to getting his hands dirty, he scoots. Nowhere to be found.
Elon Musk. ¿Quieres pelea? Vamos a darle, Elon Musk. Estoy listo. Soy hijo de Bolívar y de Chávez. No te tengo miedo, Elon Musk. Vamos a darnos, pues. Donde quiera. Como decimos en Caracas, en los barrios. Si tú quieres, yo quiero, Elon Musk. Di dónde.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Welcome to Who Death of the Universe, a podcast that convalesces in preparation for the age of assassinations. It is 12:26 p.m. Korea Standard Time, Saturday, January 11th, year of our Lord. I'm going to get this right this time, unlike last week, 2025. You're currently listening to the previous throat singings of me, Josh, and to my distant southwest is Tim Grecian Walrus Buckner.
Yes.
Fire away, good buddy.
How's it going tonight? Josh, the co-host of this here podcast, the only podcast that says maybe Jimmy Carter isn't the best president ever just because Hillary Clinton had to be in the same room with Donald Trump for his funeral. How you doing tonight, Josh?
Doing pretty good. On the mend from the sickness, getting down with the sickness.
Get up.
But yeah,
Come
doing
on,
all
get
right.
down.
But we really got to do a wellness check with you in sunny Los Angeles. We got fires, folks. You hear about this?
Have you heard this? Have you seen this? I think Alicia, former guest of the podcast, mentioned the Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks is the perfect song for the season right now, especially when it comes to some of the topics that we'll talk about with the Ace Man coming on later. The opening line of the song is Taxman's taking all my dough. Because the Ace Man hates the Taxman taking all his dough. But yes, big time fires
got it.
Going down. And also just the vibe of the song fits with I don't know, it's just something about a sunny afternoon when everything's on fire, you know?
Yeah, it fits with the apocalyptic vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kinks, good one. I've got that marked for later.
It's a good song.
Well, to kick us off, I kind of
kick
want
out the jams, if you will.
talk about I guess maybe play. Maybe I'll just insert it. I don't think. I mean, did you see Biden talking about the fires when he just pivots into his news of being a great grandfather?
Yeah.
Oh, that shit
Very good.
kind of blew my mind a little bit, but then also totally didn't.
No, it makes perfect sense.
But it's just it's just the same old shit. It's just imagining the reaction. I mean, it cuts both ways, right? Where it's libs excuse this shit, and MAGA is what the hell? But if it's the same kind of shit that Trump does, whatever, just tone deaf. I almost think it's somehow it's just more demented than even Trump is at this point. But yeah, Biden was standing around with King of the nation state of California, Gavin Newscum, and what did he say exactly? He basically was just yeah, I heard about the fires, Jack, but hey, the good news is I'm a great-grandfather today.
We got this notification yesterday that our home was about to burn down. Today, there's a lady still standing. I'm not sure. The good news is I'm a great-grandfather as of today. I have a granddaughter.
And this was his pep talk to the nation.
He just everyone be ready for grandpa president great grandpa. That's what we all want to hear. That's gonna help right now when we're Jesus Christ, this is unprecedented, fucking incredible, just they're saying once in a lifetime fucking destruction and chaos happening in the most populous state in the fucking union, on top of the biggest economy in the fucking union, all this shit. And hey, everyone, isn't it good that the president is a fucking great grandfather? Something that maybe 80 to 90% of you have never had or known. I had one great grandma for 10 years of my life, and then she was gone. And though, let me tell you this, the 10 years that she existed while I was alive, she did not seem like she should be running the country. She liked watching Shirley Temple movies. That was pretty sick. And she like laughed and joked a little bit. That was kind of the extent. I don't think I would say Great Grandma Soto should be running the fucking show. I wouldn't have been saying she should be in charge of everything. But Biden made sure to remind you, hey, everything's on fire, but at least I'm a great grandpa and I'm in charge. And the new guy, the next guy, he's insane. And in a couple of years, he's going to be just as old as me. He probably already is a great grandpa.
Yeah, Mike could be.
his kids, he likes to fuck, and his kids like to fuck too. So I would be fucking shocked to find out that he's not. I know he's got that one, granddaughter, possibly great granddaughter, that's like a semi-pro golfer. Which
oh, really?
Her name is like Kai Trump.
I didn't know about that.
She's decent looking for a young girl. She's a nice looking young lady. She's so far removed from like the Trump genes at this point that she's like not like a fucking. I was gonna say I was trying to think like a Lovecraftian demon creature. She looks like a normal human being. So yeah.
Kai Madison Trump, YouTuber, is all it says here.
Yeah. She's like a college level, like she got a scholarship to play golf in college or something just recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, she's 17 years old, so tread lightly.
Yeah, like I said, she looks like a human being. She looks like she's far enough away from the Trump fucking family tree that like the genes are like, the Trump that class, that classic fucking.
I kind of see a little of Don.
You can see a little of it.
Little Don Jr. there, but whatever.
It's peeking through, but it's not as bad,
It's like the thing about the Biden thing, though, is that it's like the total lack of a segue from one thing to the other, and that's why I'm going to insert the clip, because it's just like. So, we heard that, everybody's houses burned to the fucking ground, Jack, and guess what? I'm a great-grandfather. Just, like, no pause in between there. So I thought that was pretty good, a little silver lining. But then he couldn't stop there. Then I believe the next day after that, he was, in a meeting discussing the fires, and even Kamala, I guess, like, at least according to this New York Post article, threw him like kind of a dirty look, like, what the fuck you talking about, old man? Because he said, here we go. Biden tells speakers to fire away during LA wildfire briefing while claiming power supply caused hydrants to run dry. No pun intended, end quote. But he didn't, and then he did it again. He did it twice in the same meeting, apparently. Let's see here. Let's give it a little narrative feel. President Joe Biden repeatedly told speakers to, quote, fire away during a White House briefing on the still raging Los Angeles wildfires before blaming local power companies for fire hydrants running dry, an allegation that was quickly rebuffed by electricity providers. Biden, 82, shocked attendees with his choice of words on Thursday, given the gravity of devastation caused by the dueling infernos, and later applauded California Governor Gavin Newsom, who President-elect Donald Trump blamed for the hydrants running. Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away, Biden told Vice President Kamala Harris, a California native. She's not does she live in fucking California? I mean, whatever. He's a fucking idiot. But actually, I want to almost walk that back, because I don't even, like with a lot of shit that Biden does, it's like, yes, he's clearly demented. Brain is turned to sand. But I think you and I have also talked about how the stuff he does is what he would do, is what he would at least want to do normally anyway. Like, he was like, before he was demented, he was famous for his gaffes.
It's all on rails.
It's like, oh, little gaffy Joe. It's just like, no, he said some fucked up ass shit. Right. That's not a mistake. Like, yeah. But this almost feels like him on with his foot half his body out the door, just being like, fuck all y'all, just middle fingers straight up in the air, like, fire away. He's just like having a great time. He's looking especially waxy in some of these pictures I'm looking at. I just got to throw that in there. He's looking like a real embalmed vibe.
They got to keep him moist. Yeah. They got to keep him moist 24/7. He's like a beached whale. You know, he will die.
They will
if they don't
stuff
keep him constantly
dynamite
wet
into his stomach and fucking explode him into the ocean, hopefully.
Well,
right?
RFK is just begging to cut his head off and leak ambergris onto his fucking family as he drives down the New Jersey Turnpike.
Get that Biden juice in his hot daughter's open maw.
Yeah, with the garbage bag burqa on. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Oh boy, man, were we ever so young? Whalehead Gate.
It's wonderful.
That seems like lifetimes ago.
That was pretty good. Yeah, Whalehead. Now you say, you know, the kids these days, they don't remember the RFK Whalehead story. When they hear Whalehead, they think that was just something that Trump got in trouble for paying off. You know what I'm talking about? Get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
the way
right.
he says "no pun intended" is just like, I think he knows what he's doing with this shit. Like saying it once is like,
Yeah,
okay.
you see
he's
what I
just
did
a
there?
dumbass, but like multiple times, I don't know. It's funny how when I choose to like give Biden like agency or not, but whatever, it's my prerogative. The ill-advised wordplay came one day after Biden was blasted for saying, "The good news is I'm a great-grandfather as of today." Yeah. The other thing, which I didn't put on the list, but I just remembered, is that, again, classic, just narcissist to the max, Joseph Robinette Biden. And he starts off this, I forget wherever he was, just like talking to some group of people or whatever, but he's like, he just makes it all about himself because I guess I think one of his houses burned down, some like freak accident, like in the 70s or something. But he went into like such great detail.
Yeah, got hit by
about
lightning
it, and like
or
as
whatever.
if he was still he was like reliving it. And
he was
like,
so good.
And he was bringing up shit like he was like, I almost lost my wife and my sweet ass Corvette. Like he literally, and they he kind of like chuckled at his thing about the Corvette. Like he's having a great time off in his own fucking world. And I hope it just continues forever. The good times will never end for Joe. But yeah, just some classic failing to read the room or just fucking with people, you know, or something in between. Who knows? Final note on Biden being a dickhead. And this doesn't have anything to do with the fires, but I thought it fit fine with these other things. Biden scolds reporters saying he, quote, knows more world leaders than they do in their whole goddamn lives. Did you see this one?
Pretty good.
Did you?
Good.
I almost feel like I should just play it.
Yeah.
Unless you've seen it already. Fuck, why not? It's yeah.
No, play it.
So basically, well, there is kind of two parts to this, I guess, but it's just like a press conference or something. Yeah, and here we go. I'll just read it first. He was asked about Trump. Do you still believe he's a threat to democracy? And he he seems very annoyed at this question. I think what he did was a genuine threat to democracy. He's already you can see he's hedging a bit there. Like he's not a threat, but the thing he did, I don't like so much. But anyway, that's kind of whatever, normal bullshit. Like, oh, Hitler's fine now, everybody, which I'll have more to say about in a second here. But then he was asked about being the oldest president, and he got real salty about it. And this was his response, kind of nonsensical response.
By being the oldest president, I know more world leaders than any one of you ever met in your whole goddamn life.
What kind of flex is that?
It's so good. It's so good. Brother, you're president of the United States. Of course you do.
You've been a senator for 1,000 fucking Reich years. You were the vice president for 8 years. Yeah. But I love how he just lets it hang there. There's no like, it's just that's the end of it. Just like I know a bunch of folks.
Yeah,
what are you?
I was like, okay, this. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's just like, what are you trying to say, man? Like, I know you're like, I mean, I know nobody's vaguely trying to do is just like I'm old, but I'm better than you, essentially.
Right. Right.
Because I know I've met world leaders.
I don't know. I was gonna say like deep C-level indie wrestler like tweeted this recently where he was just like, I've forgotten more about wrestling than like you fans have ever known or whatever. He's like trying to like, you know, be like a dick about like, you know, I've done it, so I know more than you, which is like always very funny when like they're using it as like, basically in wrestling, it's very interesting because the wrestlers will like, it would be like if film directors did the same thing to like Siskel and Ebert and would be like, have you ever made a movie? Well, no, you can't fucking talk about it, right? But anyway, so the guy did that, and it was like, it took everything in my power not to just respond to that and be like, well, yeah, that's because you have CTE. You've forgotten everything, including like your wife's eye color. You don't know your children's birthdays because you've had too many concussions. Of course, you've forgotten a bunch of stuff.
You get spooked when you see your reflection in the glass.
Yeah, you shouldn't be bragging about how you've forgotten a bunch of stuff. You know, that's like what that feels like the same level of what Biden is doing here. Like, I've met more world leaders than you've fucking known in your whole life. It's like, sure, old man, sit down.
I feel like Biden has done, maybe Biden and Trump, like in tandem, have done more together to normalize presidential cursing. I think just Biden himself, maybe even possibly.
Yeah.
Does Trump like
Biden
publicly drop? I mean, like, you know, whatever. I think goddamn, but I'm remembering a time when like that would have been like. That would have been on like, the fucking nightly news cycle for like 3 weeks if a president said your goddamn life.
And it's
not that I care. I think I agree with you. Like, sure, fine. Like, let's be adults and like stop, you know, whatever. But it's still like he's being a rude asshole. Like, I don't really care. It's not like I'm like, oh, he's saying naughty words. It's weird to me how it's suddenly normalized, but that's just like me being old and watching time fly by, flat circle like. But
well, it's not just Biden himself; it's also like the caricature of like the Onion Biden.
Yeah, yeah,
and him being like he's being epic again, and then also the other part of it that makes it good that like it's now is that like, you know, that whole Reddit. Fucking, people trust people who swear more. Fucking Bill Murray, isn't he so epic? Kind of vibe is like so fucking cringe now that it's kind of good that like the president is doing that, because it's like, yeah, the president is fucking cringe. Like the president should be cringe. You know what I mean? It's like when I was a kid or whatever. I'm going to say when I was a kid, when Ronald Reagan was president. I don't even think that's true. But in my mind, I like think of like being aware of Ronald Reagan being president. I don't think that's possible. In fact, I don't think Ronald Reagan was president for my entire lifespan. But like just the fact that he was like this old fucking crotchety fucking, you know, he was not cool in any way, doesn't even come close to being cool. So like, yeah, like the fact that whole like, oh, if you swear, people think that like you're on the level and you're cool and they can fucking, you know, they can respect you or whatever. It's like, that is so fucking cringe and played out at this point that it's good that like now the president is doing it.
I think Biden has always been this way though, too, is the thing.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a rude asshole is really all I'm trying to say, because sometimes people will be like, okay, he's incompetent, he's demented, but at least he's a nice, gentle grandpa. It's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking dickhead.
Fucker. He's always been an absolute fucker. And here's the thing. He's Irish. So of course he's a rude fucking prick with no manners. He's Irish. Like God, that's one thing where they fucked up. Like, I mean, don't get me started on the Italians, whatever, but when they let Irish be considered white, that's when we really went fucking south when it comes to being white. God.
This country was great until that happened.
Yeah, until they started fucking letting Irish people be, just let them be the cops, it'll be fine. We'll see how that's going now.
Well, that's a good segue, speaking of filthy minorities. coming into our nation. You know, back to the wildfires. DEI was the culprit.
DEI gets turned into DIE for many people across the Southland.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that people were saying, like, doing that shit on Twitter or whatever, and I had never seen it like firsthand until like yesterday, and it was
pretty good, right?
So it didn't shock me, but it was just like, it just felt surreal. Like, oh wow, it really is what they're doing. They're still doing it, I guess, is what I was thinking. But and it's like everyone, you know, just all the usual suspects: your Cernoviches, your Elon Musks, your Donald Trumps.
There's a Matt Walsh one that I sent you that I thought was pretty good.
Oh yeah, where was that?
I got it. Ready? All right.
Yeah, fill us in.
There's not enough. So this
Walsh.
is LA Scanner, which is a Twitter account that I follow. They were saying there are not enough firefighters, according to LA Fire Department Chief. Matt Walsh is quote tweeting that, and he goes, Los Angeles deliberately set out to exclude white men from becoming firefighters, and now they don't have enough firefighters to prevent their city from burning to the ground. DEI is a cancer that destroys everything it touches. DEI has caused all of this. From the beginning to the end, fucking DEI, it's you go woke, you go broke, and that also includes burning to the ground, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have to spend too much time like dispelling this shit, but like I'll just throw in one of the things I came across was that these like DEI policies that they're talking about were being implemented, if anywhere, in like Marin County, which is like, you know, basically what, San Francisco, like it's like 6-7 hours away from where this was happening.
Right.
But yeah, obviously insanely stupid take. But yeah, the smugness is just, it knows no bounds. It's like, you fucking libcucks think that climate change has anything to do with this. No, it's lesbians. Lesbians done slayed the beast of Los Angeles.
Black, queer, adjacent, trans, lesbian folks.
Now look, these black, queer, trans, lesbian folks aren't going to escape my wrath because... Yes, what's your mayor's full name? Is it Karen?
It's Karen Bass.
That's right, Karen Bass.
Cass, grass, or bass, no one burns for free, as they say.
There are actual, like, you know, material things that you can point to that, you know, are at least partially to blame for some of the inaction and the failure. Obviously, like, it is a natural disaster, but there's different ways to react to natural disasters, obviously. And, like, just for one, I think it may be a bad move to, like, redirect fire department funds to the already, like, totally bloated LAPD's funding, which is a thing that happened, unless I'm totally wrong on that. At least it was, I think the thing that I saw actually was just saying it was, like, in the works, but in any case, this DEI shit is ridiculous, and I suppose that leads us to Mr. Burcham in real life.
Yes, the Ace Man.
The Ace Man.
Rockola.
Actually, before we talk about Ace Man, I just want to throw in two celebrities who I'm gonna say, especially one of these two, but both of them, I guess, as well. James Woods and Mel Gibson's houses burned down. Mel Gibson's house burned down while he was on the Joe Rogan show complaining about Gavin Newsom. I didn't even get far enough to see what exactly he was saying. I don't give a shit. I did see one clip of Mel Gibson on Rogan talking about the afterlife like a little bitch.
The Mel Gibson stuff that I saw, the clips, was very funny. Talking about, like, during the thing where he's talking about it, like the fires and being sad and stuff, he mentions, like, having 3 friends that all had stage 4 cancer cured by, like, hydroxychloroquine and shit. It's pretty cool. Yeah, on the same interview. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
pretty sick.
Prayer and horse paste. I know that's not the same thing. I just wanted to say horse paste, whatever.
Yeah. He mentioned that too.
Got into the horse paste of it all. Yeah. The only thing I saw was him going like, you got to think about heaven, Joe. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
But no, the best thing was seeing James Woods blubber and cry like a little bitch.
Oh my God.
And then a lot of people, I don't know, a lot, whatever. I saw multiple times people putting kind of side by side. It says here, heartbroken Hollywood actor James Woods, whose house burnt down in the Palisades fire, compares devastation to losing a loved one and reveals he has no insurance policy for charred property. Cut to a tweet he made about Gaza that reads, no ceasefire, no compromise, no forgiveness. # kill them all. I don't think I need to connect the red yarn for anybody there as to why it's kind of there's some justifiable schadenfreude about watching. And the thing is, it's so minimal. It's like his one of 20 houses or whatever that he probably, who knows, be like,
right.
Yeah, no one should be shedding a tear for fucking James Woods is all I'm gonna say. And I just think it's too bad that he he didn't get his head stuck in the TV set like a Videodrome style, and have to really feel what it's like to be in Gaza in the in his inflamed home. But that's just me.
I don't know where I am now. I'm having trouble finding my way around.
That's because you've gone just about as far as you can with the way things are. Videodrome still exists. It's very big, very complex. You've hurt them, but you haven't destroyed them. To do that, you have to go on to the next phase.
What phase is that?
Your body has already done a lot of changing, but that's only the beginning. The beginning of the new flesh. You have to go all the way now. A total transformation. Do you think you're ready?
I guess I am. How do we do it?
To become the new flesh, you first have to kill the old flesh. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to let your body die. Just come to me, Max. Come to Nikki. Watch. I'll show you how. It's easy.
Long live the new flesh.
But yeah, Adam Corolla, you sent me this video. I did watch the whole thing. It's good way to spend 45 minutes listening to the nasally tones of the ace man Adam Corolla just drone on about. Well, take it away. What did Adam Corolla have to say about the wildfires, and what was this video about?
It was incredible, incredible fucking just incoherent mess from start to finish. Like,
should just set up that please. He's in a hotel room because he's
in Burbank,
fled his home.
Yeah.
I pointed out I was more focusing on the little details. You said you had kind of an overarching take, but I just thought it was hilarious that he had like 2 staff members helping him make this like little video in his hotel room. Right. But anyway, he had a wildly incoherent take. Yeah.
The thing about the 2 staff members that's so interesting is that through thick and thin, from beginning until end, the Corolla staff that has been there forever is Dawson. And Dawson is the guy who just does the voice. You know, the voice at the beginning of the show when you're listening to it? When he's like...
I don't listen to this shit,
the intro guy? No, at the beginning of the thing that the video, the podcast that I sent you.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I guess I didn't really know.
The guy at the beginning that's like, you know, he's coming to you live from the Burbank Hotel. The man who blah, 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 because of blah, blah, blah. The Adam Corolla. That guy who does that voice, that is like the staff member that he's kept forever. Dawson has always been there. And as far as I can tell, I don't know if he does any production stuff, but as far as I know, he's just his intro voice guy. which in some ways I understand because it's like building a sound, having a cohesive, but he has had producers for years, co-hosts, people that are on air talent with him that have a vibe, have a play off of him, and then he just fucking shit cans them out of nowhere because on a whim for whatever reason. But he's always kept this Dawson guy around, and all he does is have that voice. And that just, it just speaks to, like, what he actually fucking, covets, what he actually thinks is important, right?
I assume he's just like, it's like a sycophant thing where he wanted like some semblance, like he needs like a whatever sounding board. He wants someone to like laugh at his shit ass jokes. So he's like, well, I can't just have one guy chuckling at my dumb shit. I need two in here with me. But
again, like I said, it's not that. It's because that guy has got that voice. He's got this like gravelly, like it's a SoCal thing because the guy has got like a certain kind of SoCal stoner vibe to him that I think he probably thinks like that's part of why he likes it and why he wants that to be part of the like Adam Corolla show oeuvre and the continuity that he always wants to have him no matter what. Again, like I said, and again, it speaks to like the fact that he thinks that all of the other people can be replaced, even if they're like incredibly talented and like fucking cater to his ass. The guy who just happens to have like this like SoCal stoner voice that he gets along with, that is his intro man, has been with him through everything. It just kind of like shows like what Adam Corolla is really all about, But Dawson introduces him on the podcast out of the hotel. And it's like, you talked about the minutia, like opening it up and just giving like this rundown of like where he lives, where he's situated, how to drive from his place to the
It was fucking painful. It was so painful. It's like this guy's like broadcast legend or whatever. It's like the guy can't fucking whatever. Anyway,
the Equinox that just opened up, that was in the perfect spot, and he gets a free membership because of his MasterCard or whatever. Like, what the dude? Why are you you're a millionaire. Why are you like, oh, this new Equinox, I'm gonna make myself go because I can go for free because of my, like, if you know that it's good for you and you know that you should go to the gym, like, why does it have to be this weird thing where it's like, I'm gonna have a free membership to the Equinox because of my credit card, so now I'm gonna make myself go, blah blah blah, whatever. And like, this
is all relevant towards the fact that I think the word I kept coming to when you and I were kind of chatting about it, the video, was like pampered. He's the most pampered guy who, listened to our like total of 6 hours talking about Mr. Burcham. If you want a little more on this, but like his whole persona of like the man show, manly man, whatever, fucking I'm hard, I play football, whatever. But he's like the other thing I couldn't help but think of, because he's like starts going off about like lesbian, like how lesbians are to blame or whatever. I'm like, yeah, come to think of it, like some men in their autumn years start to look more and more lesbianic, and he is definitely one of them with his like oversized fucking glasses on. He's just looking like a fucking rug bunching grandma for sure.
Yeah, I mean, him and Karen Bass look like they should own a...
They should be 69ing right now.
They should be somewhere in the Sedona Hills owning a Great Dane rescue farm, where they have like 1,500 Great Dane and Great Dane mixes of all different ages in their elder years that are like slowly convalescing out on like a, 12 and a half acres. Like, yeah, he definitely has the vibe.
And they could have their matching bathrobes. Was another thing he went off on for like 5 minutes. Was like this fucking his favorite bathrobe and how people were judging him for where he was like going into the most minute detail about like, my bathrobe comes down to my ankles. What's the problem? Just like,
why can't I just... But it's all theoretical, right? And that's the thing too, because like, other people have talked about that in other places as we were doing like the Burcham thing. It's like he's created this like hell. He creates his own mental prison and hell for himself. He can wear his bathrobe wherever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
No one is actually judging him or cares. But he's created a standard that he holds himself to that makes it so he's not allowed. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to wear the bathrobe, man. Like, the guy's like, well, you know why it's not. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, socially, you can't, but why can't I, though? Why can't I wear the bathrobe? Because, and I love that he's like, you got the girls and they got the yoga pants and you can see every cunt hair. You know, like, he even has to, like, say, you like, brother, like, what the fuck are you, why does it have to get into this and that? Like, and all of it is just your own neuroses, because none of it is fucking real. No one's judging you for wearing your fucking bathrobe in public, but you've decided that you can't, right? So yeah, like, of course. I'm
just going through our chat. It's making me laugh.
Yeah.
Jesus, this is unbearable. Thanks for the forensic detail about your equinox routine.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about the cold plunge and the hot plunge and the sauna and the jumping around. It's like
Adam Corolla is the only man with the balls to speak up for Carson Daly's swimming pool. That was a good one for you there.
That's a pretty good one, right? Yeah. But he talks about that, about pulling a permit and how tough it is, and you know that's what turned Bill Maher into a fucking conservative. That's why and I'm just like, yeah, that was it. That was what made Bill Maher into the monster that he is now. Was that he was trying to build a pool or whatever. And, like, it took him 7 years to build this or that and the other, and how much of a pain in the ass it is.
Bill Maher's the guy he's always been.
Right. Nothing has fucking changed about Bill Maher. He was always a conservative. Like, this is what you don't understand. It is kind of like it's secular talk, right? There was a time when being like, I don't like religion, made people think that you were on the left, but it's really, again, it's just culture war bullshit. It's not. That doesn't change your politics. He always had the same fucking politics. He just didn't like religion. That doesn't make him fucking liberal or whatever the fuck. Like, and that's the other thing is like the trading off of terms with Corolla calling people like progressive and liberal and left and Democrat and the hard blue. Oh, everyone in, I'm sure that everybody here in this area, I looked. It's like, you have done nothing. He tries to say, I looked, I fucking checked to make sure. They're this is actually the most liberal. They vote the most, 85%. It's like, okay, you're just throwing out like random numbers. I don't know what the fucking, like, what is the study that shows that like this area of Palos Verdes or Malibu is like the most progressive voting community in the country? He claims that at one point, and I'm just like, how does that prove that? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is all complete horse shit. But then also, speaking of complete horse shit, it's the, I've talked to like firefighters and they tell me the real cause of all fires. It's not this climate change bullshit. It's homeless people smoking. That's what they're camping out in the... Do you think that there's a ton of homeless people camping out in the fucking Malibu hills, in the wood, in the brush, out in the middle of fucking nowhere? Like, are there a lot of homeless people that go out to camp in the middle of fucking nowhere in the fucking deep valley? It's also and they pass out smoking a cigarette.
There are wildfires every fucking year. And
there have been for decades.
Yeah, and he gets pretty fucking rotten when he starts talking about homeless people. He also makes a point to go off about go in on the term unhoused, right?
Right.
And he's like,
homeless, unhoused.
He's just essentially gloating over poor people who don't have a home by saying, right, well, now I'm technically unhoused because I'm in a hotel. And it's like,
right. Right. But it's just like, you completely missed the fucking point. This is the thing. It's like you completely missed the point, and you think that when people like try to transition the terms and not say like, oh, don't call them homeless, call them unhoused and this and that, and like you think that like, oh, they're just fucking trying to cover up for drug addicts who run off all of their friends and family, and they fucking hate them because they're mentally ill, and but they cause it themselves. It's not anyone's fault but your own, and you should pull yourself up on the bootstraps, and you shouldn't be allowed, and no one should feel bad for you because anyone can not own a home, so that's not what makes them. And it's like, no, that's why they are pushing for, like, it's not just euphemistic language. It's like trying to better explain the phenomenon, which is to say, this is a person who is unhoused. This is to say, this is a person who does not have a place to live. This person does not have a structure in which they are able to domicile and store their belongings. It's not just a random person who doesn't own a home. It's, and that's like, he doesn't understand that because he's such a fucking simpleton that he's now turning it into like, well, shit, I'm unhoused and I'm not It's like, yes, that's because we're trying to make it clear this is a phenomenon that exists where a person doesn't have somewhere that they, like, live. This is not like a technical characterization where you go like, by the letter of the law, I don't own a home, so now I'm homeless or whatever. It's like, no, this is an unhoused person who doesn't have a place where they're, like, allowed to just live and store their belongings. And that's why it's like a different phenomenon from just like a person who just doesn't own a house, doesn't blah, 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 whatever. Like, you're not just in between places, but you have a support system, all the shit that he's talking about. It's like, you just are completely not understanding it, and you're intentionally being obtuse, which is probably more the case.
I think so.
To just hit some dumbass point.
It's not funny. It's stupid. And like, I didn't take it as he doesn't understand the meaning of the words. He's just being a cruel asshole because he's like I said, gloating. He's saying, well, I'm unhoused, but I can afford to go to a different. He literally talks about, like, and it's not just him. He's talking about himself and like his fellow fucking like wealth havers, right? He's like, well, we who don't do drugs and have mental illness can just go to a hotel when we become unhoused, or we can go stay with friends because we haven't burned every bridge in our life by doing fentanyl in the Hollywood Hills, or whatever the fuck he was talking about. And,
right, but that's where the point comes, like I said, about the idea that he doesn't understand it, because in his mind he's too like autistic to not just like understand that like trying to break down the language into like its key elements and be like, well, technically I am without a house, so I would fall under the category of unhomed, but I have somewhere to go because I'm not a drug addict. And that's the real problem, is that the problem isn't unhoused people, the problem is drug addicts. And it's like, no, man, like, you aren't that thing just because it's the same thing as like the Gen X edgy fucking joke of being like, oh yeah, I love pussy, so that makes me a lesbian. Like, as a dude, when you're like, yeah, I'm a guy, but lesbian, it just means that you like pussy, and I like pussy, so I'm a lesbian. It's like,
I feel like I've never heard this one, but I'll roll with it.
Like I said, this is like a Gen X. They would think they were so clever, but it was like the stupidest of them, where it's like, you don't even know what basic words mean to be like, yeah, man, well, shit, if being a lesbian means you like pussy, sign me up, I'm a lesbian. And it's like, no, you're a man, you're not attracted to women as a woman. But like, it's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm unhoused because I don't own a home, my house is on fire. It's like, yeah, unhoused people are people who don't have any of the shit that you're talking about that you have, including owning other homes, which he talks about repeatedly throughout this whole thing, being like, my friend owns 16 houses and 2 of them burned down, but he's not going to be sleeping on the streets smoking crack tonight. It's like, yeah, because he's not homeless. He has other places to live.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like, I saw it as just a very, very long walk to a, like, brain dead and cruel, in scare quotes, joke he was trying to make, or whatever. But like, another thing he went off about, which kind of blew my mind a little bit, was he talked about how he said he testified before Congress about he was rejected from being a firefighter when he was like, I don't know, 20 or something, because of his words, because of the color of my skin. I mean, this all just plays into like the whole
The firefighter thing.
This guy trying to be hard, but he's pampered and soft as fuck. And then this guy trying to be like, we need to quit all this whining and, blaming people for our circumstances. And he's just literally doing that. He's just taking the same kind of language. And I don't think this was like on purpose. I think this is just him being totally unself-aware, like saying, I was rejected from the fire department because of the color of my skin.
Right.
And then he has to throw in, but I was strong. I played football. I had a good back. I was ready to carry people out.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. So now here's the thing about it, because he claims, and here's part of it too, is I heard not just him mentioning it here on the podcast, but then he was on Brian Kilmeade, which I mentioned to you as the dumbest person on Fox and Friends, his radio show. Brian Kilmeade is like one of the stupidest men alive. So Brian Kilmeade did the thing that I fucking absolutely hate, which is like you have a guest on your radio show, but you play a clip of them from something else, and it's all radio. So it's like becomes confusing. Like, what the fuck? Who is talking? What is? Anyways, but he's playing a clip. He's like, here's a clip from you on another interview talking about this. Like, right? So it's like, okay. And when he's talking about it, he says like, yeah, they told me like, oh, you're not black or Latino, so we're not going to hire you. He says, Adam Corolla is he that says this. 7 years later, they contact him to take the test to become a firefighter. So he signs up when he's 19. 7 years later, he's 26. He says it's a fucking whole nother world when you're that age, when you go from 19 to 26. He says, I'm already working construction, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, fuck it, as a lark. I signed up for this. I'll go take it. And he says he goes to take it. Oh, there's some like 4'2" Latina lady who's next to him in line. And he says, when did you? I signed up 7 years ago. It took me 7 years. And I was like, it's been 7 years since I signed up for this. I might as well go take the test because of 7 years. 7 years. Latino, 4'2" Latino lady with him in line. He goes, when did you sign up? And she said, Wednesday. So, it took her less than a week and she's, getting a test, but it took him 7 years. But here, all of that and his story and blah, blah, blah. But here was the telling part to me. He says, he goes through all of this. He explains it. He says that he took the test, but at the end of it, he never says, and I scored high enough to pass the test. And I got a grade and they were willing to hire me. He never mentions that. He never mentions that he did well enough on the test to get the job. So the idea that like he just deserved it from the beginning, but didn't get it because of woke DEI. But then now 7 years later, he takes the test and then that's it. He doesn't follow up on the idea that like, well, did you pass the test? Should you have gotten the job? No, just, and then I took it, and then who can say? Who can say what happened next? Who can, and it's just like, I'm gonna guess that you fucking failed the test. I'm gonna guess that you didn't pass it. I'm gonna guess that you didn't, like, there wasn't a person who signed up Wednesday, blah, 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 whatever, and that deserved it more than you. I'm gonna guess you signed up for it just like tons of people do, and you didn't actually, like, merit getting the job, but you, in your mind, think that you deserve it because you played football and you're 19 years old and have a strong back, right?
Also, he just doesn't seem to understand the basic concept that, like, a job opening happens and, like, 100 people apply for the one job and only one person of those 100 can get the fucking job.
You, as a 19-year-old wandering into the firehouse and saying, hey, can you hire me? And you're fucking incensed that you didn't get the job, right? Is basically what he's saying. Yeah. Also, like, how hard did you follow up? No, they finally contacted you 7 years later, whatever. Like, but again, like I said, you didn't even mention, like, did you actually pass the test, whatever.
This may be my personal last point on this, but he started at one point he started going on about how, and obviously he's kind of trying to be funny, but it's still worth making fun of how stupid this is. He's like, maybe I think lesbians know less about fire safety because they got short hair, which doesn't catch on fire as easily, so they don't have to be as safe around fire.
Yep.
It's like, well, then what are you saying about, like,
men?
You cishet
all
world,
men?
Right? Yeah. I mean, that just was, like, mind-bogglingly stupid, but
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So here's my big picture talk on the whole thing. And we kind of like hit most of it there when it comes to like Adam Carolla's main thing is personal responsibility, right? Because he's like, it's tough. He's another one. He's just like, it's just like, he's just like Dasha in the sense that like, he's trying to do this right-wing pivot to grift thing. He's been doing it for a long time, but it doesn't jive with his politics. And I kind of talked to you about it a little bit here, but and I've talked to like, mentioned it around where it's just like, yeah, he's so right. Like the problem is the fucking woke DEI Democrats not like fixing all these problems. So what we need is, these, big government Republicans to come in and mandate all of these fucking rules that are common sense. And obviously the government will fix all of these problems once the Republicans are in charge. Cause that they love to, spend a lot of money and do infrastructure projects and fix things. And they love like a lot of rules and regulations and making things like work well. Because basically half of his argument is like, they need to get out of the way. The government needs to get out of the way. And also they need to fix all of the problems. Like they need to let me do whatever I want, but they also need to fix everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, how does that shit square? How does any of this make any sense? And that's like, again, it's part of the he's just, Adam Carolla at his core is just like a fucking tyrant. He's an authoritarian who thinks that all decisions should be based on his common sense and what he thinks makes sense. And that's it. So it's like, yeah, of course the government should just let me do whatever I want, like whatever kind of pool I want to build. But then also, why are they not out here clearing all of the brush and doing all of this stuff? Like doing all the things that obviously I know and we all know is the things to do. But they should also not do any of the things that I don't like. Okay, cool. Like, that's tough, again, like I said, to square as, like, now you're trying to be this right-wing grifter. Because it's, like, across the board on that whole side, they're just, like, fuck the government, fuck all of it. They're, like, more libertarian than even he is. Especially because he's from California, right? Commie-fornia, as they say. So, like, that all becomes very difficult for him to talk about. Or, like, to make this shit make sense. So it's all just completely incoherent. And he jumps from one side, vacillating back and forth between like, we need the real, strong man in control, making the decisions and doing the right stuff and spending the money on the things that we like. But also we need the government to stay out of my business and not spend the money and not, be in control of anything and not take tax money from me and this and that and put all of the power lines into the ground, even though that's going to cost billions of dollars and they're going to have to tax me a ton for that. And that might cause it so that fucking Carson Daly can't put his pool wherever he wants because the power lines are running underneath his fucking building, right? So all that stuff is like, how this is completely incongruous. But the biggest picture incongruous thing about all of this from the beginning of where he's coming from is when this motherfucker got divorced like 5 years ago or whatever, and he fired his co-host and his main producer, he said, it's too expensive in California, Los Angeles, whatever. I'm leaving the state. I'm going to move out, because I just can't stick around here. And, I can't afford it, especially, because now I have to fucking pay like child support and the alimony and all this stuff. So I'm leaving.
It's going to be one ugly fucking kid. Sorry, kid.
Right. Yeah. He's got twins.
Oh,
it's
boy.
A boy and a girl.
The Corolla twins. Watch out.
Yeah.
Shining girls. Eat your heart out.
Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Danny. Forever. And ever.
But, he said that, and that was like 5 fucking years ago, and he didn't leave. He stayed in Los Angeles, right? And he chose to buy a house, and he explains for a bunch in there that his house has been around since Paula Abdul was in the top of the charts, the 90s. Oh my God. Could you imagine the 90s? That's at least 150 years ago, right? His house, his condo has been
How's
there.
the foundation even staying upright? I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's insane. But, that must mean that fire could never touch him. And, we all know the way it's set up. The fire it's always been like this. It'll never change. Especially because we don't believe that climate change is affecting this in any way. So I bought a house, a condo, in the safest place in the world. Sure, there's wildfires out nearby here all the time, but they never, cross over into where I am. And climate change would never affect this. Now, I did say that I was going to leave California because of all of these problems, but I stayed. So, just like the drug addict who drives away all of their people and continues to... He was addicted to living in Los Angeles, and he bought a home here, and his house is burnt down, and the government should have given him some kind of a handout and fixed it and made it so everything was safe for him, so that he wouldn't be the one who was left holding the bag. And it's not fair. It's not fair at all that he should have to take personal responsibility for his own actions, choosing to stay in Los Angeles and buy a home in a dangerous fire fucking zone. Why should he be responsible for that? That was someone else's fault. Big Daddy government should have fixed that for him and made it so his house was safe. Because that's what he talks about constantly. That's like Adam Carolla's main thing, is taking personal responsibility for your own actions. Well, his actions were choosing to stay in California and buy a house in a fucking fire zone, and when it burns down, it's everybody else's fault. He won't take responsibility for his own actions. He's basically a fucking drug addict on the street, unhoused, complaining about the fact that the government isn't fucking making life easier for him. And this is the thing that he's railroaded against for fucking 100 years, constantly. And he's doing the same fucking thing. And that's like my big picture takeaway. Like this... and who cares about, oh my God, he's such a hypocrite. But like, it's insane to be like, how could I have ever known that anything would ever change? How could I be the one who's left holding the bag? He's just the same as anyone getting fucking ripped off on the Hawk Tua coin. Because they've told you for decades that real estate it's always a safe bet. Until it's not, motherfucker. And you unfortunately got hit with when it's not. And now all you can do is point the finger and blame everybody else, when it really comes down to it, who's to fucking blame but yourself?
Pull up your pants, bitch. That's what I'd say if he was here right now.
That's it. You drove everybody away, and you drove your house right into fire.
I did take a look at some of the comments of this video. One that jumped out to me was, him and Jimmy Dore are essential for me. That was the whole comment.
Hell yes. Hell yes, brother.
Another one, speaking of the moving thing, it was like, you should move to Austin, something like that. And it made me think, I was like, why hasn't he? He seems like, and then I started thinking.
He said he was going to.
Oh, that was the plan.
He's, well, not Austin, but he said he was going to leave Los Angeles. He was going to leave California.
But I wonder why he's not fully attached himself to the mothership, so to speak, the Rogan verse of Austin.
They don't want his ass.
That's what I'm thinking, is he's too fucking corny for them, right? Even Joe Rogan, the unfunniest man in the world, is like, that dude's corny, man.
Joe Rogan is 57 years old. Adam Carolla is 60 years old. They're close enough.
Yeah, they're
older.
They came from the same kind of 90s Gen X milieu. Anyway, I'm just slightly surprised he hasn't cashed in on that. But I think it's because he is too much of a fucking, I don't know.
He's a libtard.
Yeah, but I don't know. In every other way, he seems to sort of line up with that whole kind of group of people. But maybe it's he's not edgy enough. He doesn't. No. He doesn't worship at the altar of stand up in that fake ass way that Joe Rogan does or whatever. Right. But
well, he likes to pretend like he's a fucking libertarian right wing guy, but he's really just a fucking libtard California fucking dork he's progressive, he's liberal, he's all this stuff. He just likes being, again, we talked about it earlier, being edgy. He's got that Gen X, I'm edgy, I bristle up, I push against it. But at his core, he is a California fancy lad. And he's scared of any of that other stuff. But here's the thing to me, it's don't... A lot of these people, Elon Musk being one of the biggest fucking idiots of this, don't be a fucking idiot falling for the Pied Piper, Joe Rogan experience. Oh, we should go to Texas. Texas is fucking horrendous. But for whatever money and the amount of money that he has for his studio and his condo and all of his stuff in Malibu and all that, you could buy all of Montana. You know what I mean? Pick a place that's in a part of America that's northern, close to the Canadian border, safe, and you could be away from all of this shit. Like, if you really, but that's the problem, is that they don't buy into climate change, so they refuse to like see the safety side of this thing, where it's like, you could easily set yourself up with like a giant compound on like fucking, 150 acres in like, the northern Central America up on the border, where it's like, you're not going to deal with it being fucking incredibly hot. You're not going to deal with like fucking fires. You're not going to deal with earthquakes. And you can like, you're not going to deal with all of the issues that you have. Like Texas is fucking a nightmare, but you can like find a place and do that somewhere like that. But again, he's too much of a California, Los Angeles fucking fancy lad that he's not going to do that. And he's scared of it. And he stayed because he found a new girl, and his woman here is a California person because that's what he wants to be. He always has been. He always will be. But instead, what he does is he sits here and he goes like, oh, yeah, if you're a drug addict and you're on the streets, you fucked up. That's on you. But me, I did the right thing. I bought a house right next to where everything catches on fire every fucking year. And finally my house catches on fire, and it's Gavin Newsom's fault. And it's Karen Bass's fault that my house is dangerous now. Like, no, man, this was your fucking choice. Again, just like, accept the responsibility for your own actions and don't fucking try to blame it on everyone else and say, big brother, big daddy government should have made my house safe for me.
It's kind of classic libertarian.
Right.
I don't know, hypocrisy, I guess, to shorthand it. But, or just like failure of imagination. It's like, how do you think this is really going to work?
Right.
But I think I'm totally at a loss for a segue here. but the grooming gangs of the UK, the Paki grooming gangs, they better watch out. There's a new sheriff in town by the name of Andrew the Cobra Tate. And Andrew Tate has declared that he's going to run for prime minister in the UK, and he's created a new political party. I'm sure this is not a scam at all, not a way to not like looking at what Trump has done to get away with his criminal charges and thinking, hey, I can do that too. No, this is very genuine. He's gonna save the kingdom. He created a political party called the BRUV Party, which is hilariously stupid. And imagine my surprise to find out that Elon Musk is supportive of this, as is Jackson Hinkle, someone whose Twitter thread I scrolled through the other day because someone online brought him up, and I hadn't, seen what he's been up to lately. And boy, was it funny. So funny that I'm scouring my brain to try to remember exactly what I saw, but so much AI art of himself, like as a tough soldier, which is pretty hilarious. This is Hinkle talking about, but anyway, I just thought it was pretty hilarious that Andrew Tate has just got out of prison, right? Didn't you post a picture of him looking like absolute shit when he got out of jail?
Yeah, fresh out of jail, yeah.
Well, he's looking cool again, and maybe we should just watch some of this. It's not too long. We don't have to watch even the whole thing of this short video, but this is him announcing his intentions alongside his brother, who, if you didn't blink, you would think was maybe just like a photoshopped image next to him. His somehow even dumber brother, whatever his name is.
Right.
But yeah, let's listen to some of this for a second.
It is our intention to become political figures inside of the United Kingdom, and I will be aiming to be prime minister to fix the mess. And I want to make something clear to everybody who is watching this, especially the political...
Oh, and whoever this fucking loser is who tweeted this out says... What Andrew Tate is doing will be studied for many years.
And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed forever.
I don't know if you... he might not... He's not wrong, but he's wrong in the way that he thinks he'll be studied. Put it that way. Even if he doesn't win and become prime minister, if His involvement will transform British politics and create an army of men demanding change. See, this is perfect for leading into the clip because it's just like the whole clip, spoiler alert, is just a bunch of vague, platitudes about change, make better, man. And he quotes Andrew Tate saying, "My success, even if I do not become prime minister, will force the parties of the UK to address the issues they don't want to address." Bingo, says this guy, this blue check named George. Bingo.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo.
You just say bingo. Bingo! How fun!
Tate's plan will be far more effective than the incumbent politicians realize. Their hubris will prevent them from seeing the bigger picture until it's too late. What the fuck you talking about, everybody? Well, let's hear Andrew Tate further not explain what he's talking about.
It is our intention to become political figures inside of the United Kingdom, and I will be aiming to be prime minister to fix the mess. And I want to make something clear to everybody who is watching this, especially the political establishment, which I know is watching this show right now. I am being absolutely serious. You are corrupt and you have failed people generationally. London should be the greatest city in the world. Great Britain was once the greatest place anyone could possibly live.
For eagle-eared listeners, the video is kind of hilarious. There's this ridiculous background of, I don't know, what is this? British blokes with cigarettes hanging out of their mouths? Anyway, and Big Ben. And Andrew Tate is clearly reading this statement, which is whatever, fine. But I think he's trying to pass this off like he's just this is straight off the dome here. But he's his eyes are just up and to the left or whatever. But anyway, here he goes, blathering on a little bit longer.
We had a strong and proud people, and the generational failure that the constituents of the UK have been forced to endure is legendarily terrible. It's absolutely disgusting what has happened to that country, and it seems
there's a
that
good part coming up where he
interested in
can't
doing the
read.
things which must be done to fix it. Sometimes to be a bad guy, you have to be a bad guy. Sometimes you have to be an anti-hero. Tough decisions must be made. Firm, hard lines must be drawn.
Hang on. Hang on. What am I missing here? Sometimes to be a bad guy, you have to be a bad guy. That's just him reading incorrectly, right? Okay.
Right.
And I can't seem to find faith in any other political party which is truly interested in doing what is required.
There's something hilarious about someone just performing this way, getting louder and angrier, but dumber and with less meaning coming out of their mouths. But yeah, keep going with your weird ass fucking Canadian but not Canadian accent.
Therefore, I will do it myself.
British.
For everybody who is mocking this attempt for me to become the prime minister, please understand, I'm a wealthy person with 50 years of life left. The chance of me being prime minister, considering I was the most Googled man alive, sometime before I die, is actually very high. And I will leave a legacy of flawless governance.
Here we go.
Flawless governance. Beautiful. I will leave a legacy of flawless governance. It is our intention here to outline our plan for the BRUV Party and to explain to you our primary objectives, which we would implement as soon as we took power inside of the House of Commons. And once again, there's a lot of people who seem to think we're not serious and that we're playing games. This is not a game. And if you think back to the legacy of Andrew Tate since when you first heard of me, I want you to actually ask yourself a question.
Third person.
Have I ever lost? The Matrix attacked us in one of the
motherfucker, you just got out of jail for the second time for fucking sex trafficking and whatever else. Yeah. And actually, I think I didn't fucking really look into this because who gives a shit? But I'm pretty sure he's not even really out of the woods yet on these charts. I think there's some technicality is the only reason him and his brother are out of jail, and the charges are ongoing still. And very serious ones that will have his ass in jail basically for the rest of his life is what I understand.
Right.
I think it's probably good enough. I don't think I need to play anymore, right? I mean, he just keeps going on like that. I'm fighting the Matrix. He his favorite, this is a classic thing he loves talking about, whatever. But yeah, I kind of recommend just clicking on the link in the show notes, because this is at least 50% of this is like a visual experience, I would say. Especially his weird ass brother sitting next to him. It's like trying to look hard, like he's a security guard or some shit.
Right.
Well, anyway, get the vote out. Vote for the BRUV Party if you're in the UK. And I'm sure this will work out well for everybody. Yeah. And like I said, of course, Elon Musk is apparently on board, whatever. Shocker. Yeah. I mean, there's not much else to that, right? I mean, it's an obvious, like, it's just another dimension of his overall grift, right?
Yeah, of course. It's just adding more. I mean, he's not wrong in the sense that, like, he could become prime minister the same way that Trump became president. You know what I mean? So, like, just off of being famous or whatever. So that's not insane.
But if you think about like the public's attitude towards Trump before he became president, he was, even if you didn't really care for him and thought he was like kind of like a crass, just rich piece of shit, reality TV guy, he wasn't close to anything as like despised across the board as Andrew Tate is at this point.
Well, and also, like, UK, England having a parliament system is like very different than America.
Yeah.
And the fact that, in America you just vote for the guy, and in the UK you have to vote for the party, and the party has actual like controls and everything, that comes with that. So he probably won't become prime minister, but
there's no fucking way.
Insane out of the question. No, I think it's possible, but as I said, it's like, it's very
I think if
unlikely.
he was serious about it, which I don't think he is at all, I don't think he would start this like absurdly named cartoonish political party. He would just try to like get in with an established party or something. But I mean, that wouldn't work either, but whatever. I just thought that was some funny news from the margins. That's there. Some premium
shit.
Well, I just realized I skipped past something, but whatever. I skipped past a whole bunch of things. We should talk about the Don Rowe doctrine a little bit, though. I don't.
Sure. Yeah. Explain this to me, because I see it, I get it, but I don't know it completely.
I mean, it's just shorthand for Donald Trump saying very clearly and publicly over and over again that we got to take Greenland back from the Danes. Panama Canal back from the Panamanians, and what's the other one? Oh, we're going to turn Canada into the 51st state. And what was there's one more. Oh, right. He called the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, which I guess credit to Claudia Sheinbaum, Madam President of Mexico, for kind of clapping back at him on that one. What did she say?
Yeah, her response is pretty good.
Yeah, she sarcastically suggested to rename North America America Mexicana.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said he was going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Not just that he randomly called it that or whatever. Which
what's funny about that, though, is like, I feel like only Donald Trump ever had that thought. But maybe not. Maybe this is something within the racist community that I just don't understand.
No, he invented it. He came up with it on his own. But it is one of those ones that's like, it is why he's the Don. You know what I mean? It's like, he's so good at this shit, because the second that he said it, it was like, no, that's perfect.
Right.
Yes, of course, they're all going to love that, But like you said, it would never cross anyone else's brain. That's why he's like he's got the perfect mind.
For he's touched your perfect body with his mind.
He's got the perfect mind to be the leader of these fucking, the hooting masses, the chuds, because, yeah, like, no one else would think of that or care, but the second he said it, it was like, no, that's perfect. Yes, of course. Of course it should be the Gulf of America. Why is it the Gulf of Mexico? That doesn't make any sense. So that was a good one. I did like seeing someone say, like, yeah, like, they should definitely make Canada the 51st state, because that would be 2 more Democratic senators and however many more fucking House seats for the Democrats, because all of Canada would vote like Democrat as far as America is concerned. So yeah, of course, why, like, Trump, just with how fucking stupid he is, like, doesn't understand politics, like, that wouldn't be good for the Republicans for us to have Canada as part of America. That would be like, you know, doubling the amount of Democrats in the fucking country, basically, because they are already further left. Even their most right party is like further left than the Democrats, basically.
Yeah, who are taking over, by the way. I guess we'll drop some
Pierre Polity.
Breaking news in there. Trudeau's out. It's Trudeauver.
Yeah, that was my Twitter name as a reference to stuff that's going on in Canadian politics. If you didn't,
I didn't get it. Wait, I already forgot what it was.
Pierre Polyev was on an interview. Was getting interviewed by Jordan Peterson.
Oh, I saw just the beginning of that where he's just like gargling Peterson's balls for the first minute and a half. Yeah. He's like, on behalf of all of Canada, we'd like to thank you for your heroism.
We love you. We think that you're great. Yeah, but Mark Miller, who's the minister of immigration for the current Trudeau party, referred to Pierre Polyev and Jordan Peterson as 2 greasy walruses during the interview. So that's why I'm the Grecian walrus. If you get the reference.
Got it. It actually.
It's a play.
But I for whatever reason, I while very ill the last week, I watched a lot of Stavros Halkias podcast.
The Grecian walrus would
That's
be
what I just thought. That's why I thought of it.
Oh. You've been following his weight loss journey over the past couple months? He's been doing his treadmill.
He's always doing that.
No, he means it this time.
Yeah, I think that's literally what the last video I saw like yesterday that came out. It was like, for real, I'm turning my life around now.
Yeah, for real this time. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, pretty good.
So yeah, the Don Rowe doctrine. It's like, it's hard for me to know how serious to take any of this, because it's like kind of nothing is really off the table in this topsy-turvy world anymore. But like, it just feels so insane to think of, like, because, you know, Trump said, like, you know, this is all just words still, right? So he's like, I wouldn't rule out the idea of militarily taking over Greenland, is what he said at this like hour-long press conference he did for Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And I think, like, in a weird coincidental moment, the Prime Minister of Greenland came out with some statement about how, like, because there is like an independence movement in Greenland, like independence from Denmark, but like they're already like autonomous from what I understand anyway. But anyway, obviously the whole thing is just about natural resources, as everything usually is, and
of course,
you know,
like I talked about on the podcast before, the idea of us annexing Canada and Trump saying it that way is just saying the quiet part out loud. We are going to need not just the resources, but that land as climate change gets worse and the fucking Southland burns to a crisp. We're going to need land mass to put people in that's up north, up further close to the North Pole where it's not as hot. And Canada is like the clear answer to fixing that problem, right?
Well, what's kind of weird about that too is that, like, the reason, or one of the reasons it's becoming more of a like sought after part of the world now, like, you know, the conventional wisdom is that all the world superpowers are going to be fighting over things in the Arctic, basically. But it's because all the shit is melting and it's like revealing what's there. It's like, oh, we want that now. It's not all buried under, you know, miles of ice anymore. So it's going to be the new stage for this perpetual World War III we're in, I guess. But we'll see. Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll get our asses handed to us by guerrilla warriors in Panama first, and that'll at least make a good like cinematic moment for our stupid American history.
It is cool that with all the other shit that, like, he did say he'd be willing to take with military force, Trump did say he wouldn't try to take Canada with military force. It was weird. I was like, why did he say no? Like all the other countries, they would ask him, he wouldn't say no. But Canada, he was like, no.
Well, because they're like extremely close allies, and we're not supposed to be threatening to incorporate them into our country. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's
a crazy thing to say. Like, we're gonna triple our land mass and make Canada a 51st state. I mean, it's insane,
right? By force. But isn't it just as crazy to say that you like to not just say no when they ask you, would you use military force to take Greenland?
Because people don't give it, but
not,
people don't even think about Greenland. I know what you're saying. It is, sure. Yes, on paper, you're right. But like, as far as like press conference optics go, like, right. and think about how Trump's mind works. I mean, he's talking about renaming the fucking Gulf of Mexico for patriotic reasons or whatever. But yeah. And then Elon Musk has been going off about everything, I guess. But like specifically, the headline here is Elon Musk makes 23 posts urging King Charles III to overthrow the UK government. A lot of this news, like all this freaking out about the grooming gangs and stuff, which like, oh yes, that's like a real thing. That's really fucked up, but like obviously the way it's being handled by Elon Musk, etc., is like very racist, and it's like children are abused all around the world all the time, constantly, is all I'm saying. And them pretending like that's the reason they care about this is obviously disingenuous. But it also just seems like a way to distract from, I don't know, all the embarrassing shit Elon Musk does on a daily basis. But speaking of like 51st states, I've heard it characterized as like, it's essentially what Musk is angling for is like turning the UK into a genuine vassal state for America, which, as degenerate and weak as the UK is, I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think that would be tolerated. Yeah, it's just hilariously stupid. And yes, King Charles can't dissolve Parliament. It's just not part of the deal anymore.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
You know, I'm pretty out there. You knew I was far left when we met. Come on, man.
Yeah. You're one of these freaking woke tards that Adam Corolla warned me about.
I got a lesbianic hairdo. I don't understand fire safety. But what else is stupid Musk, who I resent having to bring up, but he just dominates the news so much that he's also courting the fascist lunatics of the Alternative for Deutschland party in Germany. He just did like a whatever the fuck they call it on Twitter, space thing, whatever. He did a fucking interview with one of the head politicians of that party, Alice something. I don't know if I have it in front of me here, but maybe like one of the takeaways from the interview that was just like makes you like slap your forehead was one of the bullet points they both got to, Musk and this politician, was that actually Hitler was a communist. You see, he wasn't right wing at all. He wasn't a right wing libertarian like our party. No, he was a commie, and he was preying on people's
that all makes sense.
Socialist desire to be envious of one another or something like that. I think I'm remembering it pretty much. Yeah.
Thank God.
So that's exciting. He's courting the worst people on earth still, as always. And now this German politician, I think it's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I think she's actually from like the German Green Party, but she's been in the news a lot the last like year or so. A lot of spicy hot takes about genocide, which coming from someone with a robotic German accent is always fun. Yeah, Anna Baerbock, she said, "We will not be ashamed to target civilians and hospitals as long as it ensures Israel's security, and this is part of our obligations." So that's good. Everything's going well. I'm laughing because, like, I don't know why. Just unrelated to anything. Alex Jones be looking fucked up lately.
He's zemped up.
Yeah, he's very zemped up. And do you still listen to Knowledge Fight?
Yes.
I haven't listened to it forever. I assume they've talked about his appearance changing.
They have not mentioned the idea that how, like, zimped up he looks.
Really?
Yeah, no, they have.
Seems
not
really obvious to me. Huh.
I think it's like a frog boiling kind of thing, where like he
watches too much Alex.
Yeah, he's like, he hasn't noticed like it's slowly happened, and the other guy just doesn't pay attention to anything.
The funniest part is he just looks wildly different to me.
Right.
He's like lost a bunch of weight very quickly, and dyeing his little goatee was the funniest little cherry on top to me. But it's him like acting like he didn't do any of this stuff to alter his appearance. It's like, I'm healthy, man. Getting my life straightened out.
Just working this it'll happen, man. I've got kids, I gotta be alive for them, whatever. Yeah. I really like something I saw that was like, being like, oh, like, I'm so happy that, like, Elon Musk, the father, was a part of the CIA and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like trying to be like basically like posting, like saying how all of the, like all these people who are going to like fix and save the planet or save America, or like their dads were in the CIA. And then it said like Alex Jones, his dad was in the military, whatever, like intelligence thing. And like these are the guys who are going to clean out the deep state. Like it was basically just pointing out like, oh, these guys who are all the kids of like, deep state workers or whatever, they're going to fix the problem. Pointing out how like it doesn't make any sense. The thing that got me that I thought was very funny when I saw this meme that someone was posting and they're like trying to be like, oh, I really woke. I know what's actually going on. It's like, that's not true about Alex Jones. That's just like a weird story that he's created that he tells. His dad work for the deep state. Yeah. Yeah,
I was wondering about the veracity of that. It was a good meme post by shout out Discord user Hazy. Yeah, I got it right here. It says it's like the what is it? The NPC meme. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of NPC people, and they're all saying, I'm so glad Andrew Tate, father worked for CIA, Tucker Carlson, father worked for CIA, Alex Jones, Elon Musk are joining forces to save us from the deep state. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, Alex Jones' dad working for the like intelligence community is his dad is just a dentist. But he's like...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but he's like tried... Because Alex Jones, similar to like, Adam Corolla, has been around since the 90s. He's this Gen X weirdo. Used to like tell stories about his dad being military intelligence when that was cool. And it made him interesting and exciting. And it proves how smart he is. And he's just like never retconned that story. So it's like still part of the like lore. But like before it was like the deep state. Oh my God, they're ruining America. It was just like cool. He must be really intelligent and smart and powerful. That's why he's part of the intelligence community, and not that he's woke and bad because he's part of the secret swamp that's trying to kill America. And he's just like stuck with it. But the problem with it is that it's bullshit from the beginning. His dad is just a dentist. His dad is just, he's, middle American Texas dentist who probably has plenty of money, but he did not work for military intelligence. Yeah, that was good. I liked that. I like that a lot, where it's like the real wokes are like, oh, we can't trust Alex Jones because his dad is in the military intelligence. Like, no, he's not. It's been a lie since he fucking first said it.
He put veneers on Don Rumsfeld's second cousin's teeth.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Also, at the same press conference that Trump held, he went after the real villains in our world, not downtrodden people already down in the muck. He threatened all Palestinians with all hell breaking loose if they don't get their shit together by January 20th. He said if the hostages are not free by the time he takes office, quote, all hell will break loose, whatever that means. Sort of implying that like things are going pretty well for Palestine at the moment, so don't fuck up the good thing you already got going, which is insane and horrible, obviously. So that was some tone deaf shit. our brave Congress members also just voted to sanction the International Criminal Court, which is hilarious. This thing that like we started basically right after we single-handedly destroyed the Nazis with one hand tied behind our back. Remember that? I mean, whatever. They've been talking about doing this for a long time. I mean, we literally have a law on our books in America that says we can fucking bomb the shit out of the International Criminal Court if they ever arrest. And they're just basically further codifying that, I guess, with this. I mean, these are sanctions, so it's different, but basically they're saying like it's not even just if they arrest an American, it's expanded out to an American or anyone of national interest, you know, i.e. Netanyahu, etc. So don't fuck with us, criminal court. Somehow Israel still hasn't found any evidence of the mass rapes they constantly invoke. That just came out in the good old electronic intifada recently. There's a good article about that, but that was kind of more of what I already knew. But I feel like it's unfortunately like something people have to be aware of, because like that narrative just never stops. No one challenges anyone for just saying the most outrageous fucking lies that are getting all these kids' heads caved in. Like Kamala Harris says it every day. Fucking Joe Biden says it all the time. Just never ends. Beheaded babies, rapes. Just it's like you just say it. You know, it's the classic thing. It's Goebbels, right? You just say a lie enough until you know it becomes true or whatever. Maybe I'm botching that. Is that what he said? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Propaganda. I don't know. There's a bunch of Palestine news, as always. But I guess I don't need to get into a lot of it. But maybe this will be the last one here. Oh, well, okay. Before I get to this, just another electronic intifada bit. I saw this clip that just, I don't know. It wrecked me, man. So I'm going to wreck everybody listening. It's a clip of this music teacher in Palestine who's using the sounds of the drones that are constantly hovering around to teach, like, I don't know, like scales music wise or something like that. I don't even think I don't even know if I'd listened to it. I just kind of like saw the headline, and it's like one of those things that's like, it was posted as like, look how resilient the Palestinian people are, which is like very true. But my God, what a fucking, I don't know. It's bad. It's real bad, folks. All the more reason we need to usher in the downfall of Israel's daddy state.
Right.
You know the one. But some Scottish asshole wrote a article entitled "The IDF should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and they are not kidding around at all." Michael Gove, I don't know, some dickhead. I mean, Jesus. I mean, the more I think about it, it's not clickbait because he's serious, but like the article actually just kind of goes into like very typical, like up is down, black is white, topsy-turvy universe where like everything is the exact opposite, but it's what people really believe.
Right.
Which is insane. But he basically goes on to say that like Israel's been so restrained in its use of force. And yeah,
it's true.
There's just no exaggeration in the title. Like he's really pushing for the Nobel Peace Prize, which is a prize that, by the way, has like lost any meaning it may have ever had, if it ever did, like long ago. I mean, at the very least, you could like giving it to Obama for nothing. Maybe is one good example, but. And then on that tip as well, Anthony Blinken did like what, I don't know, people are calling like his final interview, like final big interview, I guess, before he's out the door with the New York Times. And is similarly like detached from reality as the Nobel Peace Prize article. And there's just one section from it I wanted to point out, and then I think we can wind up here. Wind up, wind down.
A Blinken. I found that out recently. He likes to go by A Blinken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I found out that he's a real fancy lad who like spent most of his life in France.
Yep.
Like growing up.
He's a weird dude.
All the photos of him in this article too are he looks like a menacing like mob boss in the shadows. Did you see like what these photos, these black and white photos of him? And there's like a video of it as well. I didn't watch or read the whole thing, just some bits and pieces, but he goes on this he's basically trying to say that he did everything he could to like make all this Gaza shit go as nicely and as human rightsly as possible, which is obviously a fucking gigantic lie. Well, the one video clip I did see, the interviewer said, like, what do you think about the fact that some people are going to consider what you presided over as a genocide? And it took him like a few beats, and then he's like, but it's not. It's just not. And like maybe days before this interview, he came out and declared that like what's happening in Sudan is a genocide, which it is. But like, and yeah, of course it's horrible. But there's like way more evidence of Israel having genocidal intent and carrying out a genocide than even what's happening in Sudan. So obviously there's some disconnect there. Anyway, I can't find it. But like he said something in this interview about like how the first time he went to Israel after October 7th, he's like, I spent 9 hours in some government bunker with Netanyahu and all these people, and I was advocating for fairness to the Gazans and blah, blah. Like, he's just like very pathetically trying to like wash his hands of this thing. And it's, I don't know, truly disgusting. And barring a miracle, there would be no fucking justice visited upon his fucking head. But, prayers up for that. Yeah, that's probably enough. For now, it's never enough. Oh, we keep fucking with Maduro. We just put out a bounty for $25 million for the arrest of him. And Biden did a photo op with their latest fake president. I forget his name, but he's also like senile, like Joe Biden is. They call him like the Venezuelan Biden or something. But yeah, so it's just two waxy looking puppets in the Oval Office posing together. And Maduro announces arrest of American terror cell comprised of Americans, Ukrainian veterans who are planning attacks on upcoming inauguration and other civilian targets. So more of the same there. And like I've said elsewhere, like it will continue to be that way as long as Venezuela sits on like the largest oil reserves on earth. Shockingly, if you can believe it. For now. It's amazing to me how bad this is one of the thousands, millions of signs of like America, the empire in decline, is like we can't even figure out a fucking coup in Venezuela for like decades. We've been trying and failing. It's just weird to me. It's like, do you even want this, folks? Like, how bad do you want this championship? Yeah. Come on, get together. More. Yeah. It's absolutely embarrassing. And then maybe the answer just is Maduro's based as hell, and he's just warding off these enemies. I mean, they've tried to assassinate him, everything. But actually, this will lead into a general recommendation. I recommend that people check out the video of Nicolas Maduro challenging Elon Musk to a fist fight. It's one of my favorite things. And I watched it for probably the, 20th time again the other day when like this news came up and just reminded me of it. But it's great. He gets really angry at a press conference and is calling out Elon Musk's bitch ass to he's like, we're going to do it how we do it in the neighborhoods of Caracas, motherfucker. So that's on the wish list. Another thing to put your hands together and pray for, folks. the destruction of Anthony Blinken's skull, and Nicolas Maduro humiliating Elon Musk in front of the entire world. Man, that second one would be so good. You want to give any parting shots, recommendations before we wrap it up?
I don't really have anything to recommend. I was not prepared for that.
Not even the Dasha interview.
Oh, I mean, of course I would recommend that, but things that we talk about on the show, I feel like are not fair to be part of the general recommendation.
It's pretty wide open. Yeah, whatever.
That's fair.
I mean, you used to recommend getting an abortion. And,
sure.
In the old days.
That was not something that was we talked about on the show. That's my point. A piece of media that we talked about on the show as a topic doesn't feel like it counts as something to
whatever.
Then I'm going to recommend being a great grandfather. Everyone get out there and fuck some more and then wait.
There's no excuse, really. We should all be great grandpas by now.
Yeah. Fuck someone, wait 60 years and fucking just see where that nut goes, I love that meme where it's I'm at the family reunion and I see great grandma and she's laughing and smiling and I say, what's going on, great grandma? Why are you laughing? She says, all these people are here because I got fucked. I saw that meme the other day, and that was Joe Biden. That was the president of the United States, Joe Biden. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Be a great grandpa or a great grandma or a great grandthom. Great ambom. I don't know. How do you say a they them? A great they them. Anyways,
Z-pop? No, there's pa in there. I don't know. Grand Z.
I think basically you just made it very clear that those mayo-ass, cracker-ass, heteronormative suckers inventing language made it impossible to have a great grandpa that's an MB, and we need to fix it, folks.
This is what Jordan Peterson's been talking about all this time. I finally get it.
He said, no, you're not, Bucko, you're not going to make me call my great-grandpa they, them, just because you made him take estrogen blockers and you chopped his dang willy whacker off. Yeah, that's it.
In that interview he did with, what's his name, Pierre Penis Face, he was like, oh, well, yes, good sir. It's been mostly an honor to serve the Canadian people. Well, no shit, man. You got all your fucking money through doing this bullshit. Of course it's an honor for you to do your little fucking warrior cosplay bullshit.
Right.
Contrary to what you'd think, I've actually had a great time becoming famous and rich for no fucking reason.
Right. And going into a meat coma. But as we're on Canadian politics, shout out Rob Ford. It's your time. It's Rob Ford's time to step up and run as the leader of the Libs, and that's the only man who can beat Pierre Poilievre. Rob Ford, 2025.
We need that reanimating lightning strike, the same one that burned down.
No, Rob is alive, right?
No, Rob is
Doug
dead.
Ford is dead.
Oh, you're.
Yeah.
I guess
Doug is the dead one.
I got him confused then. I thought they were both dead.
No, that's why I'm the Canadian politics respecter.
Wait, which one? Rob is the dead one, right?
Yeah. No, Rob is alive. Doug is dead. No, Doug is dead. Rob is alive. Yes.
Wait, if only there were a way to figure this out. No, Rob is dead.
Yes, Rob is dead. Doug is alive. Yeah.
Huh. Man, those are the good old days. The Rob Ford days.
It's time now for Doug Ford to run as the prime minister for the Liberals, and that's the only chance they have to beat Pierre Poilievre. So,
the Progressive Conservative Party. I did not know that was the name of it.
Wow.
That is the party that Mr. Douglas Robert Ford Jr. at least once was involved with. Anyway, I forgot we were wrapping up here. Check out the show description which will lead you to a link to our Discord server. Join the Discord server, drop in, say hi, post some stuff over there, and you can also check out our show notes with links to all the stuff we talked about and various things we didn't get to. Tim, you've got another podcast. Tell the good people what it is, where it is, who it is.
You can find my other podcast at violentpeople.co. You can find me, as you're listening to this, you'll probably be pretty close to, I'm going to be a special guest on Violent People Radio, which is also on violentpeople.co. So that'll be fun. Check those out. All of it you can find there on violentpeople.co. And if it's too tough, you can't figure it out, if you're a dumb baby like Adam Corolla and you can't search the internet, just follow me on Twitter at ROHDutch still, I think. Yeah, that's it. And I will share it there. So just follow me there and then you'll figure it out. If you're, again, like I said, if you're as stupid and baby as Adam Corolla, then that'll make things easier for you.
All right. Nice.
Did you do a general recommendation?
Yeah, I recommend checking out the video of Maduro challenging Elon Musk to a fight.
True. Yes.
Which Elon Musk did accept the challenge. Yeah, right.
Hell yeah.
This was. I thought this was longer ago. August 1st, 2024.
So there's still time.
Musk accepts challenge to fight Venezuela's Maduro. What did he say? We'll go out on what Elon Musk said in response. Now, imagine Elon Musk saying this while he's trembling with total terror at the prospect of, I think 100, like, hey, you're into the combat sports. I mean, Maduro's a big guy, a lot of reach. I mean, he's 10 years older than Musk, but I think he would easily kick his ass, right?
Yeah.
He'd have to.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like anyone could kick Elon Musk's ass, but...
Well, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
When it comes down to training and stuff, yeah.
I can't get over how much I enjoyed just the pure fantasy of the idea of that happening. My God, it would be great. Like, Elon Musk is the guy who said, like, he didn't say it about Venezuela, but it's sort of implied it applies to, like, anybody. Well, yeah, not implied. He said, we will coup whoever we want, which was in reference to the Bolivia coup in 2019, but... yeah. So as Elon Musk always says when he's challenged to a fight by president of a socialist nation, if I win, he resigns as dictator of Venezuela. If he wins, I give him a free ride to Mars. Ugh. God.
Oh.
Good night. Good luck. Warning, Vietnam.
Taking all my dough, left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon, and I can sail my yacht, mistaking everything I've got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I've got a big fat mama trying to break me. 'Cause I love to live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon. In the summertime, in the summertime. I've got friends run off with my car and gone back to Burma and Pa, telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. And now I'm sitting here, sipping at my high school beer, lazing on a sunny afternoon. Help me, help me, help me sail away.
first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?